Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Chassidus in the morning. 15 minutes to change your life. Inyanah, Toras, Chassidus. Today's shir is sponsored by Simcha Bas Tzivya in honor of her birthday and the birth of Living Chassidus, Mazel Tov, and also for her first shlema, for Chaim David Rafal ben Sarah, Tzion ben Sarah, Chaim Baruch Eliezer ben Rasia Esther. Okay, so today we're going to discuss how everything that we've explained till now, how the Chassidus is not just this broad idea, which we explained yesterday, but how it also expresses itself in the details. So yesterday we talked like this, and if you've been following along, it's been a beautiful journey we've been taking. So we explained Meida Ani according to all the levels. We explained Meida Ani according to the Pshat, the Reverend Jewish inside. And then we explained what Chassidus brings to the Meida Ani. And then we explained how the Chassidus adds all those levels of Meida Ani. And yesterday we explained how the Chassidus not just adds to all these levels of the Meida Ani, but really they're all connected. And when we'll explain it, we'll chazah that, and then we'll go on to the next point. So essentially we explained it because what's Chassidus teaching us, coming from the Etzem, really everything is coming from Ein Sof, from God. And therefore, the world really is coming from a true nothingness to something, which is what we discussed, is the meaning of Meida Ani according to the Sod, according to Kabbalah, that the Zal Malchus comes about through this connection with Ein Sof. And that also helps us understand the Pshat according to Remez, which is talking about Tchias Meisim, which is true. Tchias Meisim is every single moment, is the idea of Yesh Ma'ayin, true Yesh Ma'ayin. And when you realize this true existence of the world is coming to existence from the true nothingness, Yesh Ma'ayin, that makes you realize that that's the whole world. There's not a physical world with some spirituality. The whole world is spiritual. And that's the whole purpose. And therefore it comes to understand the Pshat of Meida Ani, which we said is that we're thinking about Neshama, that we're talking about Nefesh Elikis. Because the whole world is Elikus, and the whole purpose I'm here is to serve God and have that godly world. And therefore, it'll help us appreciate being that's the case, and Einon Mulvadei. Therefore, the whole existence of the world is Eibishter. And therefore, when it comes to a mitzvah, what am I doing with the mitzvah? Not fulfilling my own things that I enjoy, but you're doing what the Eibishter wants. And the ultimate want in the mitzvah is a Ratzon Elyon. It's coming from Hashem's will, not for the benefit that I get, which was the Remez. So we see here how we've been able to connect the Pshat, Remez, Drush, and Sod together. They're not just that before we learned this Chassidus Taich, they're all very separate ideas. One idea is thinking for the Neshama, one of them is Tchias Meisim, one idea is Baring, one idea is Kabbalah, is Malchus. And now we've explained what we did yesterday is show how all of those things are really interconnected. So now we're going to explain, as we've talked about in the past with the Chassidus, is like the oil that on one hand it floats above, but on the other hand it permeates everything. So now we're going to discuss how Chassidus, as I had a friend, just a quick story before we start, I have a friend that years ago we were out of bringing, and he got a little bit shaken, and he said, it says Torah b'Shamayim here. It talks about in Chumash Torah b'Shamayim here, Lema mi yal l'Shamayim, saying it's in the heavens, I can't get it. And so he says, but Chassidus is b'Shamayim, meaning he was complaining that Chassidus is not talking practically, he's just talking about these lofty levels of Kabbalah. So that's what we're saying today. That's what I was trying to explain. How Chassidus is not just somewhere else, but it's in the details. Let's see. Yud Zayin, page 89 in this book, but Ois Yud Zayin. We have to, and remember, it goes till Chaf Aleph, so we're nearly there. 4 more, and this one is pretty short. We'll try to do 2. Let's see. Yud Zayin. The level of Yechida. The Yois Ha'atzi being that's an essential level. It doesn't negate other levels. Adarabba. It's the essence of all those levels. Because it's an essential thing. It's the essence of all levels. And that's why we were able to explain yesterday how all of these levels are connected. Because it's, when you get to the Yechida is the essence of everything. So therefore, once you hit that essence, we're all the same. Just like it says in Tanya, Parak Lamed Gimel, about Avos Yisrael, that how do you have Avos Yisrael? We all have one Father. Meaning, the way you have Avos Yisrael is not how you look at all the differences, all these pratim of Nefesh and Neshama Chaya, but it's as you tap into that level of Yechidah. This is one of the differences between a revelation and an essence. Gilui, or as you translate here, the manifestation, who Inyan Prati. It's a specific thing that's being revealed or being manifest. Therefore, things that aren't revealed, shel is das nit it's not his. Einam hu, meaning it's not it. Gilui or mispashit, because it's being revealed and spreading itself out. So who shel isam? So it negates it. When you have a gilui, when you have a manifestation of something, it's something specific. So it can't be anything else. Mashenkein etzem, when you're talking about the essence, hu ha'atzmus shall call inyan v'inyan. This is the essence of every single idea. So it's the essence of me, and the essence of you, and the essence of Torah, and the essence of all these explanations. And therefore, when you're talking about the essence, one of the main points of Chassidus, one of the main stresses of Chassidus, is uniting all these details with the essence, like we've done with Meida Anim, taking the 4 different explanations and showing how they're really all connected. But you connect them to the source, to the etzem, and that's what Chassidus is. And yeah, that's the Yechidah. V'gam hadgasha zu tuvan yesim haChassidus shechassidus machnisim b'chol dar chalakim shalom jusayid shemeidani. And also this idea, this oneness, it's going to be shown out, that comes about through the details. We're going to show that in the Meidani. Inyanah spheres, in regards to the spheres, chelek hasoid, who gam bechinas malchus, Yisoid, and also the level of malchus, atzma yucheres im spheres Yisoid. Malchus also connected, like we talked about, in the level of the Yisoid of Meidani, how malchus is connected with Yisoid. Which we said that has to be that what we learn from that with the Chassidus Apply is that through Ein Sof, through a level way above it, it's able to have this connection which can bring about the physical world that on one hand is physical and it has this, it's limited in time and space. On the other hand, it can also have this unlimitedness. And we take the Malchus and the Yisod and bring them together. And automatically, this idea of unity that we explained, that is nothing else but Hashem. It's not that there's no world. The Einam Levadoi is nothing else but God. Doesn't mean there's no world. But that the world as it is, as we see it, our physical world, which is limited in time and space, at the same time, and this is what we're saying, that we're going to show. We're showing the details in the oneness. That on one hand, the whole world is Einam Levadoi, but it doesn't mean that there's nothing but Hashem in the sense that there's only Hashem. It means this physical world you see with its physicality is Hashem. It's not that there's Hashem inside of it. It's also Hashem inside of it. But we're saying that it is essentially godliness. B'inyan hamitzvahs in Chelek Jewish, in regards to mitzvahs, like we talk about in the Jewish, which is about the purpose of the mitzvahs, that is for the yid to be protected from his money, or is it to connect to Hashem? And we said the Chassidus Apply is showing us that there's a mitzvah to connect to Hashem. Hashem wants us to connect in this mitzvah, and that's why we do the mitzvah, because it's the ratzon of Hashem. So here is the same idea. Gam ha-mitzvah sheyesh aleim tam. So too with the mitzvah that has a reasoning. In the Torah truth, it's called a mishpat, which means it has a logic to it. Misachtim, it's united. Ve'ikaram hu, and its main point is ratzon shel mitam, is a will, a desire that Hashem has. It's above reasoning. So it's saying in this drush. So it's saying the same hand. On one hand, it comes onto this world and it has a mitzvah, and a specific mitzvah has specific limitations and it's for a specific reason. But together with that, it has this etzem aspect, that it's Hashem's desire. And so to regards to the remez, to the level of hint which we talked about, that Chesed Mesim, should be a nasik when you have a world that looks like its own separate existence. As we look at the world, we don't see it's a godly world necessarily. We see the opportunities maybe to put godliness, but you don't automatically see godliness. What we're saying is that even this physical world, as we see it, and as we see it as devoid of godliness, therefore we don't feel as haChassidus. And because of this physicality and the way we see the world, we don't feel the novelty of the fact the world is being recreated every single moment. Hine his achdus ha'adam, his chashus ha'adam va'elam shebechol boker, the newness of the person every single morning. He his chashus bechol etzem mitziyusei. It's not just that you wake up or something. It's the whole existence is brand new. Kichidush ma'aser bereishis, like the recreation of the world is happening every single moment and every single day. The Inyan regesh adam, and so again we're seeing that we're taking all these details of life, and like we talked about actually yesterday, we should bring about this a little bit. We see the details of life, and we're bringing it back to its source. And we're saying on the same hand, as it is in this physical world with its physical limitations, together with that at the same time, it's also pure godliness. Just like the waking up, which is, it's just, we're just waking up. We're saying it's really at the same hand that's waking up, but it's together with that, it's really like the 6 days of creation happening every single moment and every single day. Bein regesh ha'adam, in regards to the person's feelings, which is chalak hapshat, we feel grateful for the Neshama coming back. Gam b'hoidas ha'adam al chiyusei, even the thanks that we're giving on the fact that we're alive. Shnei mishnasai, that you wake up from your sleep. Nigash b'chol koiches. Hu mashu Yehudi. You feel that you're God. You're Yid. You're connected to godliness. You're special as being a Yid. So we're seeing here that on one hand, all these different levels are very specific, distinct, so to speak, physical, you might say, levels, but together with that, they're all one with Hashem. And we'll go over it again. In Atlas, you have the Yisod, which was talking about the Malchus, and how it's connected with Yisod, connected with Malchus, Melchai V'Kayom. That it seems a very, it's a very specific level. We're saying this is all connected, coming from Ein Sof, from this godliness. On one hand, it's down here in this physical world, and it's very physical, and it's making a limited world with its limitations. And we think, and that's the Malchus aspect of it. But together, that it's all coming from this Ein Sof, this unity, this oneness with God. And so do we say with the Drush, which is the same hand, that it's a mitzvah with its limitations in the physical world. But together with that, it's coming from Hashem's Ratzon, which is totally above reasoning, totally above with the physical constraints. So we're seeing again that there's way above, but also together inside. And also we said the idea of like the Remez, we're talking about Chesed Mesim, that we feel that Chesed Mesim, that we feel that the world is being recreated, just like Ma'aser Bereishis, just like the creation of the world. That on one hand, we're coming alive, we're waking up from our sleep. It's not a big deal. It's in this physical world, but at the same hand, we're recognizing, and Chassidus is showing us that together with that simpleness that we're seeing, that we're waking up. Thank you for waking up. But really, there's this much deeper level, which is oneness with Hashem, which is the recreation of the world every single moment, just like Ma'aser Bereishis, just like the first day of creation. And that's what we said in the Pshat, that not just we're emotional, we're happy that we're alive, which it is, but we're showing such a deeper level. That's not just we're happy alive, we're happy we're a Yid. It's much deeper levels we're seeing here. And we have 1 minute. We'll try to run through the next one. Okay, and the next one, we're talking about how all this is connected from the beginning to the end. Yudches, Alpi, and now I'll come to what we just explained. If you'd say in the beginning of this last chapter, you've no dear in the scene who understand what the Rebbeim say, Shamal Kama Milos Project Chassidus, on a few details on what greatness of Chassidus that we talked about in the beginning, in the first chapter. Different examples of what Chassidus is. Inyanah Chassidus, these are the ideas of Chassidus. In the beginning of this Sikha, the first chapter, we said there's 4 things, general things from the Chassid, came from the Baal Shem Tov to wake up the world. We said it's about he cut his nail, burns his nails, which in the Chumashus I did talked about that. Explains Kabbalah, and I can't remember the fourth one off the top of my head. Anyway, ki av shemailas elu hein rak mistafos mimahu haChassidus. Even though all these milas, all these special things that we talked about, that we describe in Chassidus, we're saying it only comes from the essence of Chassidus. I mean, that isn't the essence of Chassidus itself. That comes out of the essence of Chassidus, like we explained before. Kan Hashem. Nevertheless, al yadan dafka mispatis atzmus l'mahusa. It's specifically through these things that bring it out, like we explained before. That it's the fact that these things aren't the essence, but they're showing on that essence. Ki ha'hira al inyan atzmi. But what comes out, what shows us what we're learning from this idea of atzmi, essence, who mefapah, it spreads through, spreads out. Umachdir, and it dwells in, v'nimtza b'chol pratim, it's found in all the details. Al the prat, hayesikal, until the smallest of details. Kanal b'inyan ha'hefesh between gilui letzin, like explained in the last chapter, the difference between the gilui, something that is revealed, or come in the word we used, and etzim in the essence. And what we're saying is, don't think to yourself that Chassidus is talking about big, broad ideas that's devoid of practical, meaningful relevance, and that it doesn't connect to my day-to-day little issues. We're talking about big things, talking about atzmus, we're talking about Eina Muvada, Yesh Ma'ayin. How does that apply to me going to work and dealing with my shidduchim crisis and then my parenting crisis? It's not going to do with it. So he's saying, no, it brings itself out in all the details. According to the principle that the end, that the beginning is wedged in the end, the lower that the Chassidus reaches, ad lahafichas tevas nefesh b'hamis. Achutza, that was the fourth one, transform ourselves. That not just transform ourselves, transform our nature. So the fact that Chassidus can come to that extent, to come even to nefesh b'hamis, which is, so to speak, the chutza Adam, and also even more that the outside of the person, like outside of us, well, the is refining your portion in the world, chutza Adam, chutza meaning outside of the person, to be able to reach out, which is a very low level. This brings out even more the essence of everything. That's why the Frierdiker Rebbe stressed in many of his talks, that everything we learn in Chassidus has to come out in actuality. You have to do something from it. Not just we learn nice ideas and we walk off, but we have to say, what am I going to do? How's my life going to be different? Specifically through bringing it out and doing something. That's when you grab the essence of Chassidus. Chassidus is not a book. It's not that you learn an idea and that's it. It's that you bring it out, you express it in something specific in your day-to-day life. And that's the purpose, and that's what you're meant to achieve. And not just that's the purpose, that's when you truly express the Chassidus. Chassidus is not just these high, lofty concepts. Chassidus is practical and need to be brought out. Beautiful idea to be continued tomorrow.